Hey guys, Michael Pytel here. I'm at the ECX Scooter Shop warehouse, and today we're going to do a little video walkthrough about the new Tilt Stage 1 deck and the differences from this and some of the other decks that Tilt has out on the market. Let's get right into it. Alright, so right now in front of me I have the Tilt Stage 1 deck as well as the Tilt 10 years. I have the 5.5 and the 6. So, if you didn't see it yet, we had a recent video by one of our team riders, Davin Horner, and he talked to you about one of the Tilt 10-year decks. Told you all about it, about all the specs and everything, his opinions on it, as well as some other decks. In this video here, we're not going to go too in-depth on these decks in particular, but I will go pretty in-depth on the Stage 1 deck, which is the newest deck from Tilt. Now this deck has a retail price point of only $160 in comparison to the Tilt 10-year decks, and in similarity to the other Tilt decks that have been released over the years. These decks here retail for $240. So comparing a $240 deck to a $160 deck, they are on completely different levels as far as their price point. Yet, quality-wise, spec-wise, it's pretty much not too far off. So I wanted to make this video to go into depth on what really does make up that price difference. For some of you guys, it's going to be worth it to go get one of these other decks. But for a lot of you, and this is the main reason Tilt did so much work to get this deck out at such a low price point, you're not really going to be giving up anything that you'll notice, except for the fact that you'll be saving $80. So also kind of goes without saying that if you want to pick up one of these decks, either already or by the end of this video, you can get it at shopecx.com. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So this deck is 5 inches wide by 21 inches long. It does have the welded on rounded dropouts. In the front here, it has a little concave. In the bottom of the down tube, it has the traditional Tilt head tube going on and a very familiar looking down tube on the top. One major difference that you'll notice is that the Tilt Stage 1 deck has a flex fender. This is in comparison to the other decks, the Theory and the 10 years, which are more or less the Theory decks. They have a welded on fender, which is aluminum and completely fixed and rigid. You have the availability to use the brake that it comes with or put an aftermarket fender on there. There's a whole bunch of different fenders on the market that will work. Just looking at it, I know that the BK carbon fiber fenders, I saw a lot of those because they're so nice because they don't rely on sidewalls in order to not be pushed down. That would go on here like perfectly good. Some fenders you might have an issue with, like the TSI Chetty fender. The TSI Chetty fender relies on sidewalls in order to not get pressed down. A lot of decks that are wider in the back, it's going to drop through. So keep that in mind if you are planning on getting this deck, because you'd still be saving money to get this deck and then buy an aftermarket fender as opposed to one of the other decks. But that is only an option if the fender is the only thing that you'd be giving up. There are a couple little minor differences. The obvious one is that this is only 5 inches wide. So in comparison to a 5.5 or a 6, if you're looking for something bigger, then that money's gonna be better spent going with one of the higher end decks. But if 5 wide is big enough for you and 21 inches long is long enough for you, then this is definitely a good way to go. Nothing is confirmed yet, but I did see that Tilt did say that they should be releasing what they consider a medium size, and they called this the small size. So hopefully that means a 5 by 22 is gonna be coming out sometime soon. So I'm stoked on that. And I'd imagine the price point is either gonna be the same or probably only like $10 more. That is just a complete guess though, so don't quote me on it. I'm gonna set the Tilt 6 inch, I'm gonna set that aside. We're just gonna be comparing the 5.5 to the 5 Stage 1. So you'll notice obviously there's a graphic difference. The 6 wide has that cutout, and Tilt Stage 1 has the Stage 1 graphic on the bottom here. You're gonna scratch it up, you're not really gonna look at it, so other than when the first time you pull it out of the box after you get it on the website, it doesn't really matter too much, but there's a lot of history and art on the higher end deck. But looking at the back dropouts, I did mention that this does still have the welded rounded dropouts in the back. At a price point of $160, there are not many decks on the market that compete with that. One thing that is different about these two is that on the Stage 1 Theory deck, it does not have a built-in nut holder. It actually just has threaded inserts. One of the inserts here is just threaded aluminum. In my experience, I've had to tighten my scooter more when I have threaded inserts as opposed to using a nut with a nylon lock. I actually haven't looked if Tilt compensated that with anything. And I'm also curious if they did any kind of steel reinforcement. It does look like it's threaded aluminum. So you just gotta make sure, to be careful, because aluminum threads don't last quite as long as steel threads. So you don't want to, over tighten it or strip it out, or you want to make sure that you're using the proper hardware in the back as to not mess the aluminum threads up. Now, in contrast to that, the 10-year deck has more of like an oval shape, and it does have a hexagonal interior to hold on to a nut with nylon on there, which is a little bit better of vibration. Another thing you'll notice, obviously we have the brake holes on the top. That's because, like I said, this Stage 1 deck does have a flex fender on there. Now, it does look like the Stage 1 is a little bit thinner up here. I can tell that because the weld right here just goes right, covers pretty much the whole surface, whereas the 10-year deck, not only is it welded right there, but beyond that, there's like a bulk amount of material. And also the side profile does look like this distributes the pressure a little bit more, as opposed to the Stage 1 is a little bit more simple of a design to where it just goes straight down. So it might be a little bit easier to crack this deck. It's still plenty strong. Do not get me wrong. This thing is super, super beefy. Not only the size of it, but the quality of it. Tilt's not, even at the lesser price point, Tilt's not releasing anything that's not a part of their quality. So even though the Stage 1 stuff is at a lower price point, you're not compromising on quality, you're compromising on a couple little things, like I said, a fender. So for some people that is a compromise, for others it's not. Like I said, you have the exact same identical head tube design, it's just a little slight variation of the down tube. It is also a little bit different, it's a little bit thinner, and it doesn't have the same shape, but for most riders, you're not gonna notice a difference, and it's gonna be plenty enough for you. There's not a whole heck of a lot of a difference between them, and that's why I got way more of these decks than a lot of other tilt decks, just because for some people that price point is hard to reach. 160 bucks with welded boxed ends that are rounded for everything that you get. I can't think of any other deck on the market that can check all the marks that the Tilt Stage 1 deck does. And then as far as the weight of this deck goes, feel-wise, the weight is pretty well distributed, so you're not gonna notice any bulk weight up in the front like some decks choose to have. The weight's pretty well distributed out, and if you want a number to go with it, this deck is 56.6 ounces. You can go ahead and compare that, but keep in mind, if you're comparing a 5-inch by 21-inch long deck over to, a 6 by 23, obviously the 6 by 23 is gonna weigh more. It doesn't mean that the scooter is gonna feel heavier because that weight is distributed out due to the size of the deck. So I don't like to throw numbers out too much because there's a lot more important things going on as far as the specs of the scooter. So worry about weight last. The exact number isn't as important as the specs of it, how it's gonna feel, how the weight's distributed out. So all those things are a little bit more important. So always feel free, like I said, any questions, hit me up, reach out. I'm more than happy to explain anything. That is what I live for. So you can get this online right now at shopecx.com. And if you mention in the notes that you are buying it because you saw this video, write it in the notes and I'll give you a free sheet of grip tape and I'll pop it right on there for you. But like I said, you have to tell me in the order notes, hey, put my grip tape on for me, and for free, I'll give you a sheet of grip tape and I'll put it on for you. So I'll throw some Avid course tape on there because I love that stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions about this deck or about anything really, leave me a comment down below, hit me up on Instagram, or just give me a call direct to the shop, and you can find all the information on the website, and the link's going to be in the bio down below. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more, and let me know what other videos you want to see. So thanks.